it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips? Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time? That's from the Diddy Freak Off party.
Lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's
in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Everyone's been glued to Diddy's trial, but what nobody expected was Usher coming out of the cut with bombshells that could flip everything upside down. He's not just throwing soft jabs or weak shade, nah. Sources say Usher pulled up with recordings that could expose Diddy for way more than anyone ever imagined. And here's the wildest part. Diddy allegedly did Usher so dirty that he ended up in a hospital after things went way too far behind closed doors. Before we get into all the juicy details, let's make this super clear. Everything you're about to hear comes straight from reports, leaked testimonies, and wild online chatter. So if this shakes what you thought you knew, don't come at me. I'm just laying out what's already out there. Word is, Usher was kept quiet for years, silenced by NDAs, hush money, and serious pressure. But now he's had enough. Allegedly, he's ready to spill it all, and he's got the receipts to back it up. We're talking phone conversations, secret tapes, and voice memos dating all the way back to 2004, 20 years of dirt. And now, Usher's ready to come out swinging with everything he's been holding back. As Diddy's trial heats up and more celebrities are called to testify, don't be shocked if Usher lays it all bare. Word is, he didn't just witness what went down, he lived it. Long before Cassie or anyone else, Usher was deep in it. Insiders say this isn't about clout or payback, it's about survival. Usher allegedly got pulled into the madness as a teenager, moving into Diddy's house when he was just 14. That's when he saw it all, wild parties, strange setups with cameras everywhere, and those so-called auditions behind closed doors. He wasn't just a bystander, he was a victim. And now, he might be the main witness who could bring it all crashing down. Let's rewind real quick. Usher was only 13 or 14, freshly signed to LaFace Records by L.A. Reid. He had the talent, the look, the future. But instead of keeping him safe, Reid made a shocking move. He sent Usher to live with Sean Puffy Combs, who was already infamous for being the wildest party king in the industry.
Yeah, Usher. I met him when he was 14, and you know, my book actually opens with that because it was one of the highlights in my career. At 14 years old, this young guy comes walking into my office and he starts singing. And I stop him early and say, wait a minute, hold up, this is too good. I need to go get some girls. So I bring all the girls from the office in, and Usher drops down on one knee and starts singing it to the prettiest girl in the room and starts seducing her with his eyes. He's 14.
Yeah.
And he has no fear, no anxiety, no nervousness, and he goes in and he nails it. And I'm like, okay, thank you, and welcome to LaFace Records.
Even L.A. Reid later admitted he wasn't sure if sending Usher to live with Diddy was bold or straight up reckless. But what really went down in that apartment? That's when things start getting real dark, one insider claims. Usher ended up in the hospital after something went down in that spot. Yeah, for real, folks close to the Harlem scene back in the day say Diddy allegedly crossed a serious line, something so messed up it landed Usher in the ER. At first, when the whispers started circulating, nobody was dropping names, but the talk was wild. People were saying someone was bleeding badly, and this ain't no rumor mill fluff. That's what people were saying before they even realized the person everyone was whispering about was Usher.
I know, and people know, that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher?
Back then, Usher didn't even fully grasp what he was being exposed to. In an interview, he once mentioned being sent to Puffy's so-called flavor camp when he was just 13, and get this, he lived with him for an entire year. A whole year in that wild environment, barely a teenager surrounded by things no kid should have ever seen.
Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
But that was only the start. Later, when Usher was asked about what life was really like inside Diddy's house, he didn't spill everything, but he definitely didn't hold back either. He said the place was packed with women, and the energy was straight up wild. He didn't break it all down detail by detail, but he dropped just enough hints to let people know something wasn't right. Usher even admitted that at the time he didn't really understand what he was seeing, but looking back, it was way off.
It was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty.
And did he, man? He was trying to play it slick. There's a clip still floating online from a live stream where he seriously slipped up. He started talking about how he and Usher used to wake up together back in the day, then bam, he caught himself mid-sentence, and the vibe turned super awkward. He scrambled to clean it up, saying Usher was around 10 years old, and that they used to argue over Frosted Flakes or something goofy like that, but by then the damage was done. You could see the people around him were clearly shook, faces stiff like they couldn't believe what just came out his mouth.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
What the f did Puff just say?
But it gets even darker. One report claims Usher was sitting at a dinner table with Diddy, Neo, Jimmy Iovine, and Cassie, yeah, that lineup. And right there in front of all of them, Diddy allegedly punched Cassie in the stomach. No one said a word. Not Neo, not Jimmy, not even Usher. Folks reacting to that report were quick to call out how wild that silence was, especially since Usher has a daughter of his own. Seeing him freeze like that in the face of something so violent says a lot about just how deep the control ran. These artists weren't just quiet. They were mentally trapped. Maybe they still are. But now it looks like Usher's finally breaking out of that fog. Sources say these weren't just random moments. This was part of a long game, a trail of manipulation that Usher had to accept just to stay afloat. He was forced to normalize the madness just to make it through the industry. And after a while, that normalization turned into silence. And that silence followed him through his whole career, with all that trauma locked away inside. Now here's where it takes an even more twisted turn. Usher didn't just survive that chaos, he unintentionally helped keep the cycle going. After spending his early years under Diddy's grip, Usher ended up bringing Justin Bieber into that same exact world. Justin was only 13 at the time, just like Usher had been. And according to an interview, L.A. Reid once straight up said that Usher brought Bieber to him as a gift. That's wild. The same industry pipeline that almost broke Usher was now pulling in another kid.
And Bieber walks into my office as a gift from Usher, who called a few minutes before and said, "Hey, I'm coming to your office at 3 o'clock. I have a very special gift for you." And he shows up with Justin Bieber.
L.A. Reid said Justin was beautiful. And get this, Diddy allegedly got temporary guardianship over him for 48 hours.
You know, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you want to do? What you want to do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang with some girls.
But it didn't stop there. Justin ended up spending unsupervised time with Diddy, even partying with him when he was just 15. And, yeah, there are videos out there, real clips where Diddy's asking Justin weird, uncomfortable questions, and even warning him not to talk about what went down during their time together. It's seriously unsettling.
Act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct.
My
Okay.
number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
And it gets even more disturbing. In one clip, Diddy's caught asking if Justin Bieber was wearing a wire, like he knew something shady might eventually come to light. As for Usher, he's not dodging accountability anymore. People close to the situation are calling him out, saying he played a role in delivering Bieber into the same chaos he barely made it out of himself. One commenter even said Usher was one of Diddy's first and claimed that by putting Justin in that position, Usher's no better than Diddy. As more footage and old stories resurface, folks are starting to connect the dots, and it's not just about Usher or Bieber anymore. Freddie P has come forward too, saying Diddy allegedly manipulated his own son, keeping him close, isolating him from his real dad, and flooding him with gifts. The message: Diddy made sure to raise the very ones who could have exposed him, turning them into loyal protectors by design. It's like he built a whole system to keep his secrets locked down.
It's more deeper questions that I be wanting to know, like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours.
And here's the wildest part. Even Diddy's relationship with his own mother got folks side-eyeing him. There's a video out there of him kissing 83-year-old mom on the lips, calling her mom Dukes, saying she's single and ready to mingle, and even cracking jokes about taking her to strip clubs. Yeah, you heard that right. And she was even spotted rocking white nail polish. And if you've been following this whole case, you already know what that little detail might be hinting at.
Introduce her to my mom. We call Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Ma?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
And this story just keeps getting deeper. Gene Deal, a former bodyguard and well-known insider in the industry, dropped a bomb, claiming that Diddy's own mother ran a so-called modeling agency that was actually a cover for escort services. According to him, she didn't just shape Diddy's mindset. She was allegedly right there at those infamous freak-off parties with him. That's next-level disturbing. One user even chimed in, saying, "She has definitely always been a weirdo to me too. She probably tampered with him early on." And when you start piecing it all together, Usher, Bieber, Cassie, Diddy's son, and now his mother, it stops looking random. It started to look like a full-blown pattern, a twisted setup that's been running deep for years, with each piece connecting to the next in ways people are only now beginning to see.
Combs gave that stuff up a long time ago when she used to do her little modeling thing with her little ladies other night, the little wild parties. When she gave that up, remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm gonna say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party and she partied with young people. She's always been like that.
Still, that didn't stop folks from calling it like they see it. One user said, "I think Usher started out as a victim, but he definitely became an enabler at the very least. Justin Bieber is definitely a victim. You can tell by how he moves as an adult. I just hope the full truth comes out and every person responsible gets held accountable." And honestly, they might be right. These allegations keep lining up like pieces of a puzzle. And now the real question is it too late for Usher to make it right? Or is this just the start of a reckoning one Diddy never thought would come knocking? What's your take on this bombshell? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching every move as this whole thing unfolds, and if you're here for the real talk, no filters, no fluff, hit that like button, subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and tap in for the next video we've got lined up. You don't want to miss what's coming next. See you soon.